Hello! Welcome to Spill the Drink podcast, where every week we let the viewers, that is you, pick the discussion. We talk. Well, let the viewers pick the topic. I messed that up real good. We are your hosts, Brian, which is I, and...
Which is I, and Kenneth. And I think we're done letting them pick the topics, right?
Not yet. It's just been... we're still out most days. But, yeah. We're still in, figuring out, fixing phase. So, it's going to be a little rough, but I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys still support us once we figure out what to do and how we do it. But, Ken, would you like to let our viewers know what topic we are going on about today?
Yeah, but first of all, we still got to figure out, are we going to do the billboard idea? No. I want to do a billboard. There's a billboard I saw on Route 46 West coming home today. Mm-hmm. Man, it is so cool and big. Uh-huh. And I saw another billboard on Route 46 East.
Okay.
And it was terrible. So I was like, well, if they can have a billboard, then we definitely can. Like, there's a pole, a literal like telephone pole, blocking half the billboard.
So you want that billboard?
Not that one. No, I'm just saying, if they could do it,
and
they were ugly, if they could do it, then we can do it. So there's hope. And it's for something stupid, too.
What is it?
Well, maybe not that stupid.
Okay.
But I feel like we definitely can do it,
Okay.
So, yeah, our topic for today. Party planning. Now, I know that we said on our story that we're going to talk about adapting to American society and the struggles with that. Unfortunately, we're not doing that for this episode. But we're going to talk about party planning.
Party planning / how to throw a perfect house party.
Yeah. Should I tell them about my bash?
Yeah, actually a big event's coming up.
Yeah, so June 25th, I'm having the bash of the summer. It's bigger than Summer Slam.
Okay, I don't know if it's that big.
No, it's pretty big.
It's big.
If you want, you gotta DM us.
Yeah. So it's open invite. I would
actually it's not, but if you DM us, I'll decide if you're cool enough to get in.
Okay. All right. Well, DM this account and then we can let you know about address, time, date, all that jazz. Even though you know the day, it's June 25th. But if you're interested in partying with us and seeing how we throw down, I mean, you're more than welcome to come. But let's jump right back onto today's house parties and how to throw a good party. And now I would like to start this whole topic and discussion off with, Ken, how do you decide who's going to your party? Do you feel like it depends on who comes? And do you feel like, out of all the three questions, the most important one I feel like is does it matter about quantity over quality of the people coming into your house party?
Well, for me, I feel like I could sort of strike up a conversation with everybody or anybody. I think quantity is definitely very important for like a bash, like a rager.
Okay.
I know. I try not to have any less than like 40 at a house party. Like that. That's my goal.
I don't know if I have 40 friends, dude. That's nuts.
To be honest, half the time I don't even know who they are.
Nice. Okay. Good.
But, I mean, if you have like 10 really good quality people, you don't need more than that.
Okay.
But if you got shit quality and you got shit quantity, the quantity will only take you so far. Like if you have 30 idiots, it's not going to help much. But if you have like 3 idiots and that's it, then it's going to blow.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I feel like quantity and over quality, I don't agree with that. I feel like quality would be a little better. Like if you have a good, like you don't, technically speaking, need to have a lot of people come to a party. I personally like having a lot of people, but I want to know these people and know they're going to have a good time, or they're going to at least, add more value to the party. Right? Now, I'm not trying to have that one person who just wants to get trashed and start throwing up or like being mean and kind of like ruining the whole vibe of the party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so how do you get, like, what do you do to set up the party in the sense of like invitation wise? Do you text? Do you call? Do you Facebook? Do you Instagram?
I'm a big fan of the Facebook invite.
Facebook invite? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you make a Facebook event? Okay.
The
Okay.
problem is, though, a lot of people don't use Facebook.
Oh, you think so?
Well, they might have a Facebook account,
Okay.
but I tell a lot of people, "Oh, did you see the invitation?" Like, "Oh, I don't use Facebook."
Gotcha.
And then I have to, like, it's good from a standpoint of seeing how many people are actually going.
Yeah.
It's good for the number, but then you usually have to tack on maybe another 5, 10 people because they don't have Facebook, or they do have Facebook, but they just don't, for whatever reason, they didn't say they were going on the invite.
Gotcha. Yeah. Which happens. Which definitely happens.
But yeah, that's my go-to method. But I usually have to send out individual text messages because people forget.
Okay.
So the Facebook invite gets the party sort of started, or people thinking about it.
Yeah.
But 2 to 3 days before, I remember I had one in December, and I had to constantly, it was work. It was more work than my actual job trying to freaking find out who was coming to this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you feel like you kind of have to set it up before you even have the party to make sure people are coming, where you have to put the invite out on, like, make a Facebook event, and that's like your first initial invite to everyone, and then after that you have to start texting them to remind them because you feel like people will forget afterwards?
Yep.
Okay.
No, in order to have a party that has 40 to 50 or even 60 people, there's a lot of planning that has to go into it.
Really?
At least for me, that's how it's been.
No, I agree with that. I think I only hosted one party at my house, and I did the same. I mean, I didn't make a Facebook invite, I don't think, but I definitely texted people multiple times.
It gets tiring.
Yeah, I definitely. Do you feel like when you host a party that you have to make sure your guests are entertained because you're hosting that party? Or do you feel like, if they come, they can do whatever, I'm here to have a good time? Do you feel like that?
If I see somebody that's sort of not talking to anybody, maybe I'll go over and talk to them. Because chances are I know them.
Yeah.
That's why they're there. You would hope.
That's true.
But for the most part, a lot of people seem to mix well with the people we've had in the past.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I've seen, like, the last party, we had sort of a group upstairs and a group downstairs, and I didn't really see anybody just sitting there.
Yeah.
Like a, kind of
chilling.
sitting there, yeah.
Now, what makes a party a rager? Like, and let's do it then. What makes it a rager?
I think a rager, it has to have you have to have a certain number of people.
Mm-hmm. And what is that?
I would say probably at least 30.
30 people? Okay.
Yeah, maybe 20.
Okay.
25. And people, like, they don't have to be getting trashed, but people need to be pretty intoxicated. Like, when I think rage, I think of we're getting amped up. We're getting, like, primal, That's just what I think.
Okay. Okay.
Not everybody's got to be totally hammered, but
okay.
Yeah, that's my definition of a rager. Like, whoa,
Okay. No, I like that. I definitely feel like that could be a good definition of a rager. Now, a big question I have is, during this rager, do you have games going on, or is it just people taking shots? Or
if people want to have games going on, sure. I'm not really a drinking games guy.
Really?
I like to socialize.
Okay.
And I wouldn't even say I'm really a social drinker. I mean, I am, but if I'm feeling it, I have no problem throwing back a bunch of drinks.
Gotcha.
And lately I've been drinking more because I've been hanging out with, shout out to Diego and David.
No.
And they like their,
their
drinks.
Oh, what type of drinks do they drink?
Anything and everything.
Okay, good. Okay. If you had games at the party, what games would you play?
What's that game called? Rage Cage?
Rage Cage, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay.
Flip Cup.
Beer pong, but I never understood why even at, like, college parties they had water. Like, just do beer. Like, at our school, it was always water.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner.
I know, but come on, man. This is college. We're supposed to do stupid shit.
Yeah, but I feel like after having enough bacterial fungi in my stomach, I'm not trying to have it with alcohol. Yeah. But I think for games, though, Rage Cage would be a very good idea. And actually, I want to ask a question to you viewers. Mm-hmm. If you had parties, have been going to house parties, or even like any like social gathering where they had games, what games have you guys seen? Do they play like beer pong, flip cup, Rage Cage. Like, what have you seen? And do you guys play Kings or any other drinking games? Like, what do you guys prefer? Because we would definitely like to know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat just to make. I don't have my glasses on, but maybe somebody will answer. Okay. Karaoke, that's what Sharon said.
Sharon, shout out to Sharon. Sharon has a very good point. Karaoke is spot on. And if no one has ever tried karaoke before, you should definitely try it. I tried it in Scotland, and it was phenomenal. It's very fun to sing while you're intoxicated a little bit. I sang some Drake, and I had a great time. I just sang God's Plan. It was amazing. I definitely recommend. And also, if you don't think you're a good singer, it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you're doing it for fun, and you have people supporting you regardless of what you sing. So I would definitely recommend if you've never tried it before. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to dance naked in cages.
Okay. Please, would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, not really. Well, I'm not necessarily naked, just shirtless.
So you're half naked?
I guess.
Okay.
But, like, I don't know. For whatever reason, like, when I'm drinking, not always, but especially when I'm going to, like, nightclubs, and you see the strippers, you're like, I want to do that. I feel like I could do that. And then
I have never had this so-called feeling, so...
I get it a lot. But anyway, it's like, oh, who's the guy in the cage that can't dance? Oh, there's Ken.
Now, I don't know if you viewers know. I don't know if we talked about it before, but we went to a trip to Canada in 2016 with 8 of our friends, and we actually went to a bar, and my friend, our host, Kenneth, he decided to go into a cage and remove an article of clothing.
I didn't have a shirt on the entire night.
Okay, he didn't have a shirt on, and he was dancing in a cage. And it was pretty good. We've definitely had some people come to us and be like, hey, like, your friend's pretty good. And we were like, hey, we don't know him.
I think I have a pretty good chance at a career if this staffing agency doesn't work out.
Yes. Well, maybe. I don't know.
It depends. I mean, it depends on my mood. Like, Diego and David, they're always like, why don't you dance? And I was like, oh, you just haven't seen that side of me yet. It's coming out.
Anyway, let's move right along.
Well, there's nothing wrong with dancing in a cage, man.
I have
that's the way to have fun. That's like one of my go-tos. I feel like you'd be very good in a cage.
I appreciate that. I was just gonna say, topic-wise, I don't know. If you got cages in your house, I hope you don't. But I mean,
I really hope you don't. Unless it's like a bird cage or something.
Yeah, like I don't know how to bring this back to house party stuff. But
that's right. Yeah, we're talking about house party. This is not even in a house.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry.
Sorry, we went on a little tangent. Granted, it was a pretty good tangent because you got to learn more about one of your hosts right here. So I wanted to ask, though, about house parties. How do you keep the damage to a minimum? Because there's always the possibility.
Yeah, no, you're right. These are great questions, by the way. And we haven't done any preparation because that's what we normally do. No preparation. And the questions are tremendous. I got to give you credit for that.
I appreciate it.
So how do you keep damage to a minimum? I think, like you mentioned earlier, it depends on who you're inviting.
Yeah.
Now, we're 25 and 25 here.
Yeah.
So you would hope at our age people are a little bit more mature, and it's not to say that they can't get bombed or drunk, but it's another thing when you get bombed or drunk and you're damaging shit, and you're knocking over furniture and you're peeing on the floor or you're knocking drinks over or whatever.
Yeah.
I think as you get older it's a little bit more, it's easier to kind of keep the damage to a minimum.
Yeah.
But yeah, just make sure that you're inviting people that don't have a history of causing issues like that.
Okay.
And then I don't want to judge anybody based on their age, but typically I would say the older the person is, the lower the chance that they would have at doing some type of damage to any furniture or important stuff.
I agree with that. Definitely, I think what you said was correct because I feel like the older you get, at least you become a little more mature. You can handle things. You have your own things to worry about as well, in the sense of like property-wise and what you own and valuables. And you wouldn't want to have your valuables broken or destroyed, right? So, I mean, treat wherever you go and whatever you're holding, like, treat it with respect. That's how you want your stuff to be treated as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I personally think. You have a point, Ken. You gotta watch out who you invite. And bringing back to the point of when you said some people you don't even know come to your party, that's my big fear. Like, you don't know this kid or guy or girl, like, and let's say they do something. What would you do in that situation?
If I don't know the person?
Yeah, and something's going on.
I'd have to figure out, like, what exactly happened.
Yeah.
Like, chances are they didn't do it on purpose.
Okay.
Maybe they got a little... I mean, you don't even have to be drunk to knock something over.
Yeah, that is true.
You could just back up into something. Like Kelly, she didn't drink. Sorry, Kelly, but Kelly spilled, like, 3 drinks in one night of Hawaiian Punch on my basement floor.
Yeah, Kelly's drunk.
I don't know what the problem was. But, like, damn.
How many times did that happen again?
I thought it was 3 times, and it was like within the span of an hour and a half. I love you, Kelly, but that was bad.
He ran out of a lot of Hawaiian Punch that night.
Yeah, I don't think we ever ordered it again because, like, I don't think my mom ever bought it at the store because she's like, nobody even drinks it; it just ends up on the carpet.
No, those are definitely good points. Yeah. Trying to suck up now.
Yeah.
Definitely, though, that's one of my biggest fears is house parties. And when you host a house party, is that things get destroyed. I actually had one back in, like, 2016. This is when I'm dating myself now.
I thought that was a phenomenal party.
Yeah. Ken came, and this was... we were kind of testing out alcohol, so I will be honest, I was not very much experienced. I thought I was this cool kid who was like, yo, guys, BYOB, bring stuff. So, everyone bought cases of beer and liquor and all this stuff. And me personally, I just didn't know what I liked. So I thought that I would go into the party with the idea of just going hard, drinking, not really caring about my stuff, and, not worrying about anything for the whole night. And in retrospect, thinking about it now, that's dumb, and I'm glad I didn't think that, because the entire night I was worrying about my entire house, because I was worried about someone dropping drinks on my carpet. I was worried about someone breaking vases, however you say it, breaking dishes, like literally dropping drinks and then not cleaning it up. Like, someone had people vomiting in my toilets. Like, it was, I had one person vomiting upstairs. I had another person vomiting downstairs. One of them was so drunk he couldn't hold his head up. Not mentioning names, but it was just like, didn't expect.
It wasn't me, but I know who it is. I was pretty drunk that night, but I was probably like tied for 3rd with Adam Shapiro.
Yeah, that was shout out to Shaps. Those two were very.
Yeah, you were like, why are you still drinking?
Yeah,
like, the party's not over, man. He's like, you're drinking
upset.
Budweiser.
He was drinking, and I told him to stop drinking because he was getting a little rowdy. I don't mind getting rowdy, but he was getting way too rowdy.
I don't even think I was getting that rowdy. Like, literally. I you know what? They're friends of ours. Cody was...
So sorry. I was not...
No, you know what? I won't mention that. But you know what you did that night. That's all I'm going to say.
Still champs because they pushed through in the end. They were still with us through the entire process, through the entire party, I would say. And
what the fuck you talking about? What was like...
Adam Hyder, he went through that whole thing and then still was standing and talking to us after all that. Same with Cody.
There were moments, though, where they were not.
Oh, they were not doing it. But I appreciate that they got through that entire thing, dude. Some people, after they puke, they pass out for the rest of the night.
Yeah, well, I pass out without drinking sometimes. So
Well, we're human. Mm. But anyway, I realized when I threw that party was that I really don't enjoy as much having people inside my house and drinking.
Yep.
Because one, it wasn't my own house. 2, if anything does get damaged, like, I'm responsible. No one else is gonna, like, obviously our friends will help us, but there's only so much they can do. Like, if there's a broken vase, like, I don't know where to get it.
That one got a little out of control. I mean, I thought it was a very good party, but that's a rager.
Yeah,
that's a rager.
That had a lot of people, like, upstairs, downstairs, in my freaking. I have a basement as well, so there's people in the basement, in my kitchen and family room, and then in like upstairs near our bedrooms, and I just didn't understand what was happening because I was like, I told everyone in the beginning of the party to just stay in the basement, and then everyone started moving everywhere, and it's the middle of winter, so it was just like you can't even bring them outside. So it was definitely my mistake thinking like I can control everything and thinking that thinking that I can just go have a good time, enjoy, which I did for like the first 30 minutes, and then a couple minutes in, when I went outside and was hanging with some friends, we were talking in the car, but other than that, it was definitely damage control. It was definitely damage control.
Oh, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask if any viewers, have you thrown a house party? Did you guys have any experiences with that? Or have you been to house parties? What was your craziest experience like? Have you seen people go ham, like pass out, throw up? Like, obviously those are just the norms, but what were your best moments? What did you enjoy? What did you hate? Honestly, Ken, that's a question I would want to ask you is, what do you hate about house parties? Because I feel like some people much rather go to a bar or go out to a club than just do a house party.
I think one of the downsides of house parties is usually the music.
Really?
At clubs, usually music's blasting, and I like loud music. Like when I'm in the car, I blast the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's one of the negatives.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I think I sometimes prefer house parties over clubs.
Okay.
What I don't like, when I was in college, like I had a few friends that liked to just drink in the dorms.
Oh, okay.
With like 4 or 5 people, and that wasn't really for me. I preferred house parties.
Really?
Because you get to mingle, you get to meet new people. Sometimes with clubs, it's just too loud, and you only hang out with the people you know.
Okay.
And you can't even talk to the people because the music is so loud, which is good in a way because the music's cool and you can dance. But at the same time, if you want to have a conversation, it's very difficult.
I agree with you with that. Going back to your music thing about house parties not having the music to your liking, I actually disagree with that. I think the music would actually be better because you can tell whoever's playing music, or to be like, hey, play this song. Or you can actually just do that whole Spotify and have a group playlist with everyone and just play any music you want. You can add to the queue, and
that's true.
At least you get to decide. Oh, can I see what are they saying? Anything?
Lee said I threw a formal in my basement.
Oh,
I remember. I was in a suit.
Yeah, Lee. Okay, shout out to Lee Lou. He's part of this podcast too. And Lee, how old were we when we did that? Like probably freshman year of college or high school even.
It wasn't high school. I think it was college.
It was college? Yeah, he threw a great party in his basement. To this day, though, I'm thinking about it now, it's super weird, but it's only super weird because we all dressed up for the occasion to go hang out in our friend's basement. And I don't mean like just like putting on jeans. I mean like we actually wore like suit and tie to go hang out in his basement. Yeah,
I had my sports jacket and everything.
Yeah, it was different. It was definitely different, but it was a cool experience because it's not like during that time we had a lot of opportunities to dress up, and it was just cool to see everyone dressed up and just chill and dance to music and have a good time. And I would definitely say that was one of our top parties to have that we've had in the past. And actually, Lee brought up a good point too. Like, there's actually different types of house parties going on now too. Like, he was telling me about this thing called a PowerPoint party. So everyone who would come would actually give a presentation about something they're very, I guess, passionate about. And we would, as the audience, just rate them, tell them what we think, and then, it would just be that throughout the night, like giving presentations about topics you care about, you don't care about. And I thought that was a phenomenal idea. I thought that would be really fun. What about you?
I think that could be cool.
Yeah, I think it would be a good time. I think it's different from the norm of just having a bunch of people over and just drinking. Because personally, sometimes I do get kind of bored with just the idea of house parties and going there. Because if you don't really know a lot of people, I think it's hard to talk to people and break that not friendship circle, but that whole circle, that group circle. Because if you're, let's say, an acquaintance of the friend, right, that asked you to come through, you go there and they're talking to all their best friends, all their close friends, and you're just, hey, what's up? You get to mingle here, there.
Yep, for sure.
But sometimes you don't get it. It's hard to break that whole entire barrier, you know?
Martin from the Netherlands, thank you for commenting. Walked in the bathroom at 4 a.m. during a house party to find a girl piercing a guy with a needle she heated with a lighter.
Wow.
Sounds like something I'd be into. Anyway, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. We appreciate the comment though, dude. That's crazy. I don't think, from both of us, I don't think I've ever seen. I've seen that maybe once in like a movie. Not the exact scenario, but definitely people shooting up.
I was asked one time, I think I've told you this story. Story time. So I was talking to somebody at a house party, and this guy goes, "Oh, do you have a condom?"
Oh, no.
Originally, I thought it was for him and I.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So I was like, "For us?" He goes, "No, not for." I was like, "Not for us."
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Actually, that's a great idea / quite good question. If you meet someone at a house party, are you allowed, let's say, to sleep with them in that person's home?
I don't think I'd do it at the person's home. No.
You don't think so?
No, I could barely have people here that when I was dating that person.
Yeah.
My mom didn't want them in the bedroom with me.
So I worded that wrong. So what I mean to say is, let's say you go to your friend's house.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do that to my friend.
You don't think so?
No, I don't
Even
think
if you met someone who you really like and they're like, hey,
we'll bang the next day.
Okay.
I got a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean,
I'm hoping I'll be ready to go tomorrow. There's no difference between tomorrow and today.
Do you think it's allowed though?
Well, I guess it's allowed. I just don't think I'd be super comfortable. Like, what happens if the door opens or something and your grandmother popped in?
Like,
say I was at your house. Your grandmother she's coming down the stairs. All of a sudden, she sees me scantily clad, and then
Well, in this scenario, you would be in a room and it'll be locked, so no one's.
What happens if I don't lock the door?
Do you not want to lock?
Man, think about it. Alcohol's involved. You think I'm gonna remember every damn thing I'm doing?
So you wouldn't open the door?
No, I'm saying I might forget to lock the door, and then your grandmother would come in.
I am very confused in this scenario.
I'm at your house, right?
Why?
I bring somebody into the bedroom. The door, I forget to lock the door. The door is shut.
Yeah.
She comes into the bedroom.
Okay.
And she sees what's going on.
Okay, so there's just I don't even want to discuss this. This is weird.
You just popped the question. I don't know.
It was more the question of at a friend's house. It could be any friend. It doesn't need to be me.
Well, I'm sure there are friends that have grandmas.
Yeah, you could have a grandma. It's just like that's not what I'm trying to discuss right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, do you think it's okay to sleep with someone if you meet them at a friend's house party to sleep in one of their rooms? That's the only question.
No, I think I answered. I said yeah.
Okay.
But I do think there's a lot that can go wrong with that.
That's fine.
Right?
That's fine.
I just feel like there are so many variables. Because it's not my house. I don't know everything that goes on in your house or my friend's house.
Jesus.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Okay, so Ken wants to sleep with someone at my house. That's great.
No, I don't want to sleep with anybody at his house.
Anyway.
I want to sleep with somebody, but just not at your house.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, I also kind of agree with what Ken said too.
If you could follow.
If you can follow it. I apologize because I didn't explain it that well, I guess.
No, I'm just off the walls. Brian did a fine job.
I also feel like it would be weird, but I will be honest. If I was, let's say, coerced into being,
What do you mean, coerced? What the hell is this?
Like, if they wanted to, I think I would. Granted, I would, whoever's house it is. And if it's someone close to me, I would definitely apologize and tell them, hey, I'll wash the sheets.
You know what? After hearing the idea of washing sheets, I don't think I'd want my friends doing it in my house. Nah, I think it's kind of not disrespectful, but just wait, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah.
Plenty of other places you can do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know, I don't want to say I know, but I'm pretty sure I know some people.
Oh, yeah,
who have done that, and they actually say they don't regret it just because they said it was kind of more of like what they kind of like, you know. You don't know if someone's going to walk in. It's not your house. It's a new place, a new person you've met. So they were definitely about it. But, you know, as you said, Ken, I don't think I would be. I feel like there's just too much to not worry about, but more like.
I agree.
It's like, dude, it's not my place. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to do all that.
My mind races as it is, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. That type of situation, like, what happens if somebody comes in? Like.
Yeah, that's. Well, I don't even know what I would do if someone came in. Especially, like, there's a rager going on downstairs, let's say. There's a bunch of people, and that's, like, another big thing. How do you even get to that stage of, like, bringing someone to another room? Because there's so many people everywhere, right?
Well, I mean, I feel like at a lot, like, say, take my parties, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, usually, so I have 3 floors in my house. I have the basement, the middle floor, and the top floor, where the bedrooms are. Usually at my parties, the basement and the middle floor are taken. So if you go upstairs to the bedrooms, there's nobody up there.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
That's
don't
nuts.
get any ideas for some of the viewers that might come to the party on June 25th.
Yeah. You definitely DM us.
I'll definitely be coming up the stairs periodically, just making sure nobody's snuggled up in any of the beds.
Yeah, that would be that's like I think that follows the whole idea of like, you know, trying to control your party / like trying to control the damage too, because I feel like that would be such a weird thing to say, like, yeah, like, wear your sheets, my friends, you know, they had sex in it. Oh
yeah, like what happens if they got an STD and then I get the STD?
Yeah, that's a little rough. I didn't think that far ahead. Just yeah, okay.
How do you decide? Like, say you're the host of a party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the host should pay for the booze?
I don't think so. Okay. So the reason I only say that is because a couple things. I believe that the host can buy some stuff for the party, but I don't think they should host like alcohol. I don't think they should host a bunch like. I'm not going to come to your party expecting you to get me trashed and you to give me food. And definitely you guys tell us what you think. If you host a party, do you believe people should bring your own stuff, like BYOB? Or do you think it should be the host, whoever's having that party, to have it all done themselves and you bring nothing and you just come in? I personally think it should be a 50-50 amount where, look, I'll get like a case of beer and I'll get a case and some pizza, like maybe like a box. But if you want something too, like if you want some food or something, like bring it. If you want alcohol, like specific alcohol, bring it. Don't just rely on my case of beer to get trashed and then like whoever comes and then they're like, oh, there's no more alcohol. But like, no, like I'm already, like, we're all meeting to get together, yeah, but I personally think that it's like a custom. Wherever you go, like if you're invited anywhere, you should bring something. Like I feel like most people do that. They ask like, hey, do you want me to bring anything? Do you want me to bring food, like water, anything easy? And most people actually come through and bring it. But I don't think as a host you should provide everything for everyone. Mm-hmm. But what do you think?
Well, usually at my parties I provide pizza.
Yeah.
That's the food. So I don't go above and beyond on the food.
Yeah.
And then the alcohol I pretty much buy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You know, which is usually about $100.
See, and that's the thing sorry to interrupt, but that's the thing I don't like is like, because alcohol is it's expensive. Like, it's not cheap. And those, like, that, I think we talked about this in another podcast, where when you go out every week, like, those bills add up. It's not like you can just buy a bunch of shots and then get it for free. Well, you can, but depending on how you do it. But that's my big thing, is that there's a lot of having a house party and then deciding that you should buy everything yourself causes you to have all that financial strain on yourself, and then no one else is helping. And it's not to be rude. If you have pretty good friends, you're lucky that people clean up with you afterwards. If you have people who are just leaving in the middle of it, like, bro, like, what are you gonna do? Like, you clean up yourself, you clean up stuff you can't. You're just finding.
Message something.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Pedro. Oi, tutto bene.
I don't know what that means, but thanks, dude. It's just all that stuff, but yeah, Ken, I just don't believe.
No, I mean, I don't look down upon, like, because I host not a lot of parties, but I try to do 2 a year, one in the summer, one in the winter.
That's a decent amount of parties.
It's only 2, man. Yeah, I mean, I would do one every other weekend, but you know what? Then I'd have no bank account.
Yeah.
You know, but I think as a host, you should, for food, maybe buy something like a pizza. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
Okay.
But as far as alcohol, I think there should be something, maybe a beer or two for each guest.
Yeah, so like
you,
like a case.
Yeah, but if you have 40 people.
Yeah, but see, that's what I mean.
You know,
though. Like,
I don't know. I'm more, maybe just a little bit more, maybe too generous with that. I don't know. I don't look down upon hosts when they don't offer food or beverages, but
yeah.
sometimes I'm like, BYOB, really? You're not gonna pay for anything?
So yeah,
that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, come on.
Yeah,
I do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, as I said too with my answer, it really, like, I'll pitch in for like snacks or pizza and like a case of beer. But if we're having like 40, 50 people over, I will be perfectly honest, I am not going to buy 2 cases of beer for 1 beer for each guest, because if I have 40 people coming, half of them at least need, like, you've been to a house party. This can't be your first time. You will bring something. And I'm not, and I don't mean to be rude. I know some people come for different intentions. Like, some come to socialize, some just come to drink, and some just like drinking a lot. So I'm not going to have you come to my house. Let's say, hypothetically, if I'm having the party at my house, I'm not going to have you come to my house and then be like, yo, where's the booze? And me telling you, like, hey, I only have 2 cans. And then you getting upset with me for no reason. Like, no, I gave you something, right? So it's just, I feel like, personally, it shows me you also care when you bring something as well, because it's like, hey, like, I bought something, you can give me something as well. We're equal, you know, like, it's just a nice gift, and I appreciate the people who do that. And I say BYOB too because, as I said before, it depends on if you like certain things to drink. Like, I'm not going to go buy, like, expensive. Like, if you like drinking Hennessy, like, Henny's really good. But I'll be honest, I'm not going to drop $60 on a bottle. But if you want to drink that, I'll split the cost with you. You know?
Okay. Usually what I do is I'll get maybe like 2 12-packs of 2 6-packs of maybe like an Angry Orchard or White Claws. Then I'll get a few different hard liquors, but the smaller bottles. Yeah. Maybe like the 375 milliliter bottles.
Those still cost like $20.
Yeah, 15, 20. Yeah. Maybe just like I get a couple, 2 or 3.
So like $60
yeah.
already. Damn.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm the host. I don't want anybody to kind of walk in here expecting a bunch of stuff and then they don't have it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree in the sense of allowing the host to, like, that's a good host right there. I will say, personally, if you ever come to my party, I'm not that good of a host. I'll tell you to bring stuff, and I'll provide some snacks to eat and some beer, but I'm not going to
I try to give
you options.
I'm not the best with mixers. I got to get a little bit better with that.
Yeah, I mean, so does that.
Yeah.
But I think also viewers, I think personally the big advantage of having a house party as well, obviously you can get damages, stuff like that, but big thing for me personally is you do get to save a decent amount of money. Like, I personally think so, because if you're going out to a bar, you have to figure out rides. If you don't have a ride, you're paying for an Uber, because I hope none of you are drinking and driving, because that's against the law. Then, let's say, pay for an Uber, get into the bar, which you have to first wait in, depending on if it's like a popular bar, you might have to wait to get in. Then 2 or 3, you have to then go and get a beer or some type of liquor. Now, if beer, depending on what type of beer you're getting, can range from $2 to $9 actually, and then a mixed drink can range from like what, like $7 to like
Johnny
$15.
Walker Black's what, 400 a shot?
Yeah, like 400. Yeah, okay. Well, that's I don't know what he's buying, but that's not what I'm buying. But the whole point is that sometimes those bar bills go up very quickly, and you'll be drinking, and sometimes you're kind of free balling with the credit card. I'll be honest. I know I have, where I'm just like, hey, just swipe it, and then the next day I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, that's the problem with alcohol. I mean, it's not that you don't know the risk, you just don't care about the risk.
Exactly.
I remember hearing that, and it's like, I know that if I jump over this barrier or whatever, there's a good chance I'm going to get hurt, but do I care? No.
Yeah. See, and
I don't care.
That's why I like throwing house parties, because you don't have to wait for a drink. That's my big pet peeve about bars, is like, I hate
then trying to get the bartender's attention.
Yeah, like, not only do you have to wait to get on the bar to sit there, and then there's only 2 or 3 bartenders, and shout out to all the bartenders. Like, if you're a bartender, nice job, because it's not an easy job.
Not at all.
I know that, and I always wait. Like, I'll wait patiently. I'm not someone who's gonna throw my credit card out. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna yell at you. I'm not gonna wave cash. I've seen people wave cash, and then people come.
Do this.
Yeah, I'm patiently gonna wait my turn. Now, granted, I know it's definitely backfired, because I one time went to a bar in the city and was just waiting patiently, and I don't know why, it just seemed like these girls, like a bunch of these hot girls, were just going right next to me, so the bartender kept going to them. And
you could blame them, man.
Yeah, like, I was like, okay, like, no worries. And then after, like, at least a good 20-25 minutes I was standing there, he was like, hey, man, have you been waiting long? And I was like, dude, we know.
Yeah, since I'm not a hot girl, that you didn't take my order.
So, and I can't blame him. So that's my thing. I love house parties in the sense of, if I want a beer, I can go grab whatever I bought and drink it. If I can ask the host, like, hey, you have any stuff? All right, you don't? Let me just call someone, and maybe someone can bring it to me. Like, you can't do that in a bar. You have to literally wait in line, get a drink. Once you have accomplished that drink, and accomplished, I mean drink it, you have to then go back through the crowd,
Oh my God, trying to get through these crowds, man.
Exactly.
And they're dancing.
Exactly.
Oh my God. And then they bang into you. You're trying to hold your drink. It spills on you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There's just a lot of factors where at a house party you really don't have to worry about, depending on how many people are at the house party. Now, if it's like 100 people, you have to go through the same thing. But personally, as an adult, have never been to a party that big before. Back in college, but anyway, that's what I like. I like being able to get a drink. And plus, another big factor, when you want to make a mixed drink, you make it yourself. So you're learning more about how to make drinks, and you can understand more about what's going into a drink when you're at a house party, instead of worrying about, like, when you go and pay at a bar, you can ask the bartender, hey, can I get a rum and coke? Great. They'll ask you what type of liquor you want. Obviously, for me, I'm broke. I always go bottom shelf liquor. But depending on who your bartender is, if you're nice to them, if you're not, how they're feeling that day. Some of them put a lot of ice in your cup, and some of them don't even put that much liquor in, and then they just put a bunch of soda in, and then that's your drink. And then it's like, okay, well, I just paid like $13-14 for this drink, and it's not good. And that's why it's just, I like being at a house party, like, especially like your house. Like, we can just make a drink. Like, I know I'm going in my cup. I can measure it. I'm good. I'm not putting any ice, because low-key I'm an alcoholic. No, I'm just joking. It's just stuff like that. Like, it's small little things that I like about house parties that I would much rather go there and just enjoy. And that's what I'm thinking. I think that's kind of the way to go. There was another point you mentioned too. I'm trying to think about it as well, but I can't remember. I forgot if it was social. I think it was social, like having friend groups come through. I don't know. I forgot. But do you feel like at a house party, when you play certain music, when people get hyped up, and do you feel like it's just such a good time where you don't need to go out afterwards, because I feel like some people plan to go out to the bar afterwards. Do you think that if you hit the right music at the right time, people will stay? And then
I don't think my house is really. I think it depends on the house.
yeah,
I don't think my house is particularly good for dancing around, like with the music, like because my family room's connected to the kitchen.
yeah,
There's not a ton of room in there. The basement, the TV is not where the most space is.
yeah,
The TV's in a little man cave area.
yeah. That's
where
true.
we're at now. Where we used to do our podcast by the table, that's where most of the room is, but that's not where the TV is, and that's not where the music usually is.
Yeah,
But at some parties, like I think Nooper's house,
yeah,
I think that's better, and I think you can get more into the music, so I don't think you need to go to a club afterwards. I think it depends on the environment.
okay.
Not even so much the environment, just how the house you're going to is set up.
Are you at your house parties? Are you a more shoe in or shoes off type of guy?
It's a good question. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
I would usually when I'm in the house, I take the shoes off. But my dad walks around the house with shoes on.
Gotcha.
I know in many cultures that's not the way they do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
But I don't really care as long as there's not mud
Okay.
on the shoe. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you ever think the host should leave the party to get food or to get extra beer, or do you think the host should tell, like a quote-unquote event coordinator that I've had over the years, Lee Lou, who is a tremendous event coordinator, ever throwing a house party,
Yeah.
give him a call, shoot him a DM, send him an email, send him a handwritten note, whatever you need to do,
Yeah.
and get him, because he knows what he's doing and he's very disciplined.
Out of us three, he is the most responsible one ever.
It's not even close. It's a landslide.
Yeah.
But back to my question. Do you think the host should leave?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think you got to call the unsung hero like a Lee Lou? I think Cody's done it in the past where it's like, KB, do you need me to get this? And, what do you think?
I think personally, you should call on the unsung hero.
I think so too. I don't really think the house should be unmonitored.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, back to the story, though, with the 2016 party.
Yeah.
Where I would say things kind of got a little out of control.
Yeah.
Luckily, nothing was, the toilet got clogged.
The toilet did get clogged. I found out next morning. Sucks to
to,
fix, but it's fine.
I saw him pop in the chat. I won't mention his name.
Anyway.
You know who you are, buddy. Hopefully I see you in a couple days. Anyway. But we were younger then.
Yeah.
We were, what, 20?
Yeah, we were,
Around 20, right?
Yeah.
It goes back to my original statement about age. It seems to be an important factor.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure with that stuff, with the damage, that people are they're behaved. Because if you got people that are naturally reckless, they're young, and then you start throwing, whether it's marijuana or alcohol, into the picture, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And then that kind of relates to, leaving the party. Because if you got all three of those things going on, you might leave to go get beer, you might leave to go get pizza, whatever. You come back 15 minutes later, and there's a vase that's broken.
Yeah.
There's glass shattered on the ground. There's a massive spill, or the laundry machine's unplugged, or the toilet's clogged, whatever.
Yeah.
So I would recommend to somebody throwing a party, maybe especially if it's going to get in excess of 20 to 30, 40 people in that range, to kind of have somebody that if you take a rest or you go out for a smoke break or whatever, they kind of have their eyes on what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with that. My big thing with leaving the party would be actually having things stolen.
That is a very important topic.
Yeah, and I think this is one we would have to discuss, because anyone who's been at a house party probably knows that most of the time when you go upstairs to use the bathroom, I know I have, I've seen people at house parties, they lock all their doors intentionally, because a lot of my roommates back in the past were saying they've known people who've had Xboxes stolen out of their rooms, like TVs, medication, laptops, like personal things where people legit like just come into their house and take things and then leave. And you don't know as the host because you're literally just trying to mingle with everyone, right? And that comes to the idea of, you know, who's coming into your house. If it's just randos, that's my biggest fear. And that's why, going on to the unsung hero, I would never want to leave because I'd be too scared people are just going to start opening drawers and taking things. And obviously, if you know everyone, I'm hoping your friends aren't like that. I'm hoping your friends are like my friends. I was lucky to have them. They're nice. They won't do stuff like that. But there are some people who would just come in and just take stuff and leave without you knowing. You know, they won't say anything.
Especially if they're a friend of a friend.
Yeah, like you personally don't know them, but there's someone else. And then let's say something does happen, and then that friend's like, dude, I texted them, they didn't respond back. Okay, like what am I supposed to do in that scenario? Like you're out, let's say with a laptop, like you're out $500. So what now, you know?
I mean, something like that it's pretty incredible how somebody's just got the balls. Is that something that somebody would pick up on instantly?
Yeah.
You know, not maybe like say there's medication in the cabinet when you're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They don't even take the bottle, but say there's a total of 30 pills, they take 5.
Yeah.
So that's something you might not notice.
Yeah.
But a whole entire Xbox or a laptop,
well,
that's ridiculous.
The perk is about that will be sometimes, I don't know if you guys do it, but you know, if I'm carrying alcohol and stuff, I personally don't feel comfortable just carrying it around in the open. So like
where are you carrying it? Like
I'll be putting in like a backpack.
I know, but you said not in the open, but where are you taking the alcohol?
Like, so if I buy it from the liquor store and then I have to transport it,
your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm not
from the liquor store to your car. You mean?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
I'll buy it and bring it out open. I don't care because I just bought it. But if I'm like if I don't know where I'm going, if it's somewhere new and I'm not used to it, and I know this guy or know this person, but I'm not like definitely sure, I'm gonna put it into a backpack or something, you know, just to be safe.
Okay.
But that's the problem. Was like people, it's common to bring, you know, bags and stuff like that into a house party, and then it's easy to shove things into a bag, and it's not like I'm trying to keep track of your alcohol, which is actually another topic I want to discuss. But
you got to count.
Exactly. It's not like I'm keeping track. So if you just sneak it in, I'm not going to be like, hey, let me check your bag before you leave. No, it's my house, but I'm not. It's your right to privacy.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. And that's another thing I wanted to discuss. When you threw a house party, how much alcohol did you have left over?
Well, we have that big cabinet upstairs with alcohol that's probably older than us in there.
Damn. Okay.
So, but that's hard liquor. Beer. There are times where they'll completely wipe us out.
Yeah.
You know, we got some friends that can really pound them.
That's true.
You know, we got friends that could drink 10 plus beers in a sitting.
Yeah.
And you and I are not lightweights. I used to be a lightweight. We're really not that much of a lightweight. You know, I could drive after 3 or 4 drinks pretty comfortably, and I'm not saying that's a good thing.
Definitely don't.
No, I'm not saying I recommend that. You know, definitely don't do that. But there have been times where I'm the designated driver, and usually my max is 2 when I'm driving, 2 beers or 2 shots, or you know, sometimes I'll mix
within multiple hours.
But even if I had 2 shots consecutively, I'd be all right. But there have been times. I remember one time me, and Vina were at a restaurant.
Oh yeah,
we were having fun, and
we
ended up
drinking sangria though.
But still, it's it's strong enough. But I had maybe 4.
Yeah,
that's a lot to be getting behind the wheel. I feel like, but
yeah,
I'm here. Not recommending it. Not advising anybody to do that.
Yeah, we don't advise drinking and driving. But I think though, definitely. A big thing would be sorry, that point didn't even make any sense. When I threw my party in 2016, I had a ton of alcohol left over, and I remember not knowing what to do with it. Because as Ken said, like we're not lightweights, but it's not like we drink like on the regular.
Yeah, we're not.
We're very much social drinkers. So I just had a lot of booze left over, and I didn't know what to do with it. So it sat in my fridge, my basement fridge, the entire time, and I didn't know what to do with it. So just one by one, if I'm going to a house party or a social gathering, I usually just took that and gave it.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. That's like a perk of having a house party, is that people always bring stuff, but usually they're not going to take it back. Well, depending on who you are, but usually they don't take it back, and you're just left with it. And it's a good feeling, because then you're ready. Like, it's kind of like, hey, I have stuff now, I can use it for next time. You don't have to worry about buying anything because you have all the leftovers.
Yep.
So I like that about house parties too, but it does become a hassle when you have more alcohol in your fridge than food. So only, cautionary, be cautious about that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
We're running a little low on time. We only have about 5 minutes left.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeping over.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think a host should, for big parties, especially for people that are traveling far distances, do you think they should offer to have the person sleep over?
Yeah, I think so. If you're traveling like an hour or two away, I will definitely host you, because if I know I've been that type of person where I have driven 2 hours to get to a party before, and then was like, I don't want to stay over, so I drove home like an idiot. But as a host, I would allow people to stay over, because I feel like if you're coming that long, gotta be nice. So I would do it,
especially if I start drinking.
Yeah,
and it's late.
Yeah, like there's no fun driving at like 3 o'clock in the morning back home. Like that's
I've done it. One time we went to Kutztown.
Oh yeah.
And I drove back. It was kind of a cool ride back.
Yeah,
it's in the middle of PA. It's like empty.
Yeah, Hope County. Yeah. It's a good ride home.
Yeah, that and
it's a good ride
then
home.
Warren County when you come back over the border.
Yeah, Warren County's pretty good too.
Yeah, so.
But no, I believe in letting the host sleep over, and I'm assuming you do too.
Yeah, I've had people sleep over, but the majority of the time it's like Batterman, who lives in Philly, or Haddonfield. He's 2 hours. And there are a couple of people that might be coming in June that could be traveling 3 hours. So I'm not gonna let them drive.
That's nuts.
Especially if they start smoking or drinking.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're going to call it.
This is the end of our podcast for this week about how to throw a house party and recommendations and kind of how we do it. We appreciate you guys tuning in for this week's episode. I know we changed it last minute, but we're still figuring it out as well. But we're planning to get a little better at it piece by piece. We appreciate you guys signing on, just listening. We really do appreciate it very much.
Yeah, we like when everybody tunes in. We like comments.
Yeah, seriously. If you guys feel like commenting, just comment on whatever, like whatever. Tell all your friends about us. I mean, we're more than welcome to talk to new people, because, we're doing this because we want to talk to new people and let them know about our thoughts. So, please just tell anyone, follow our channel.
Yeah, follow the account we have and subscribe to the YouTube. Eventually we'll be up on YouTube. Yeah. It's going to take some time. We got to perfect the presentation of the podcast a little bit. Yeah. Obviously, or a lot of it.
But, no, we appreciate your time, guys. So we'll let you know what we're doing next week. But thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next time, all right? Bye, guys.